Guess what time it is? It is that time. It's Nourie's Niche, and I'm still in San Diego. Really liking the weather, and I got Gary Clark's bike because it's just like mine almost. It's even got the Haro knee saver bars that I love running. I'm currently running the standard, but today's trick is going to be gosh, I don't even remember what they call them. Again, the names. Sorry if I'm so off with these names, but I just, a lot of them I just did, and then they kind of got lost, and I don't even remember the names. But we're basically doing the front hops and then let it spin around like that. So it's like front, let's just call it like front hop whips. And maybe I can do a couple different ones, because we used to have fork standards. So we used to have on the Haros especially, they had ones that just bolted in. GT has one that flipped up and down. Oh, actually Haros did too later. And it was a lot easier because you're way up on the top of the fork. But again, it's just something that can be fun. We already learned just the front peg hops, right? So this is just taking it to one other step, one other possibility, one of many, and I encourage the creativity to come out of you to explore and come up with different ideas. But this is just going to be learning to tail whip. So I'll do a couple of these to the best of my ability on this bike. I mean, this bike is actually pretty dialed for this trick because Gary's got really good brakes. Like these, I did a hang 5 earlier, went right over the bar and just like gashed the heck out of my shin, but that's all right. It's part of the payment, part of our payment plan, right? So what are we doing here? I'm going to demonstrate it a couple times, and then I'll break it down, give you some insights, some tips that I think might help. So relatively slow, both feet on the pedals, hop right to the pegs, start hopping, and then just let the bike swing around. So that time I went a little bit further, right? I just went to like a 360 and then to just this track stand or like a trick saver, they call it, right? One thing about this bike I noticed is his gear ratio is really, I have super easy gear ratio, like close to 1-to-1. Oh, check out what he's got too. He's got a graveyard sprocket on the front there. So it's interesting to ride out of these tricks on this bike because it's actually a lot stiffer gear ratio. Okay, so let me do another one. Simple, basic trick. If you learned those peg hops earlier, this should come relatively easy. We're just going to start letting the frame swing around. So we're going to hop up, land on the pegs, start hopping up. Didn't really happen that time. That's all right. No worries. We're just in a parking lot. It's not showtime. It's kind of my showtime, but that's all right. Show my true colors. All right, here we go. I want to do at least another 360. So relatively slow, hop onto the pegs, let it come up. Oh gosh, I touched. Oh, burned my foot. Just remember the ground is lava. Okay, third time's a charm. I use that phrase a lot, don't I? Hey, why aren't you following me, camera? This is a new tripod that's supposed to follow me, but I don't think it's doing it right now. Let's see if I can get it reset. You want to be following this guy. Yeah. Hold on. This is the kind of thing I don't want to edit out. I don't want to spend a lot of time editing. We got to ride, right? Okay, third time's a charm. We're going to do front peg hop whips. There's a name for it. I just can't think of it. All right, here we go. Oh, God. Again, I couldn't pedal out very well. Well, you get the idea, I hope. So now I'll give you a couple ideas behind that. So if you already worked on the peg hops, you got that down. You just want to make sure when you're hopping, you're over the front of the bike. Then you just lift your leg up, let the frame drop around, and swing it around. One of the things that can help is as you're hopping, you're going to learn to, you could even do that. I think I did this on another video, where you're going to learn to just pump the frame around by rocking. Wait, this camera's not letting, it's cutting you off a little bit. Okay, you can pump the frame around with just your bars. So that's the same idea, except for you're hopping, right? Can't ride out of anything on this bike because of gear ratio. So I think that's the first step, is to really just get the comfortable hopping, lift your leg up. And what you're going to do is you're going to lean the bike a little bit to the, just a little bit to the right. And what's going to happen is the frame's naturally going to start swinging around. You step back on that peg, then you swing it back the other way. So first, it's a little bit to the left, to the right, and then to the left, and then over. And then there's riders that go on and on and on. They just keep going. So that is possible. I noticed that hopping tricks take a lot of energy out of you. So that's pretty much step 2, is to release one foot and lean the bike a little bit over. So I'll demonstrate that again. So just lean it over just a little bit. Once you're there, you're going to lean it over that way, and then you're going to step back over like that. Okay? And then step 3, as you're coming around, as it's hopping around, maybe you can do a couple of them. Then just let it drop down. I just put my foot right here and then ride out like that. Okay, so now that I'm warmed up and I've given you all the tips, let me see if I can do a decent one to wrap this one up. Okay, here we go. Front hops on the pegs. Lift it up. Lift it up. Oh, come on, I had it. All right, well, you get the idea. It does take a little energy hopping, I must say. It tires me out pretty much when I do a lot of hopping tricks. Okay, so that's it. The sun's going down. I'm gonna try to do one more real quick, just to keep them going. Maybe they're not the best tricks or the best execution, but I'm determined to continue to deliver, and I would encourage you to do the same when you're out there practicing. Just put the effort in, put the time in. Remember to have fun. Remember, it's freestyle. Creativity is key, and just enjoy it. All right, see you in a bit.